So in our previous video, we learned about how button works in Flutter and how this text field, input text field works. So now let's refresh it. First, let's format our document. Now let's refresh our app. Now I need a bit of a distance here, space between here. So for that we use size boxed in Flutter, and we give height parameter, and that is let's give 20. And also we need comma at the end in Flutter. So now let's check it. It's all right. So also I'm gonna put a bit of, let's copy this and put it here as well. So now let's refresh it. All right, it's been fine. So now what we're gonna do is how to take input field from text field, and when you press search, then we're gonna show our result in here below here. So for that we're gonna need a text field, text here, data from button. Also copy this size box here as well, and let's keep a bit of a distance here like 50. Now refresh it. All right, data from. So what we're trying to do is when you enter here and press here, we're gonna show data here. So for that we're gonna need a controller, and for that just below our this override input above this override method, we're gonna need final first value controller. Let's call it first value controller equals to text editing controller. This is default provided by Flutter. You can change this name, but this should be as written because it is by default Flutter. So let's define a variable string and let it be like so let's say it's a user post, right? So user post and enter value from text field. So here the thing you need to remember is when you're defining a function or a variable, the ending line of a code should be said with colon, and when you in a body it should be a comma. So now this call user post on our text field. All right, so let's refresh it. Let's go. Value from text field. The variable value of this user post is shown in here. So this will only work on stateful widget. It will not work on stateless widget. So we're going to talk about detail about stateful and stateful-less button in future, but now just remember this. So now after doing this, so I'm gonna write a code in here. So what you're trying, let's format it. When you press a button, this is for debugging purpose. Now let's set state. Use set state. Then user post is our variable name. So we're gonna set user post variable name, the data we're getting. from our text field, that is value we are storing in first user controller. So let's call that. Now value of this and text, so we're gonna need this. So now refresh it, go to your browser, let's call it hello world, search. Wait a minute, it's not working. So what I'm missing is I'm missing here. I'm gonna use controller here. So we need to call controller here in our text field. So my controller name is first controller. So now run it. Go to our application. Let's call hello world. Now it's showing. So this is how you work with input field in Flutter. First, you need to define a variable and call this function. This is the default function from Flutter, and this is above override, below this my button app state extends, not this stateful widget below this, but below this one. So always remember that. So when you define this variable, then I'm just giving a first initial value. You can also put anything here. So it's after doing that, in text field call controller and then call the controller you just created. So after that, in elevated button, when button is pressed, set the state of variable, that is user post in my case, to value I'm getting from this input field. So this is how we take input field in value from input field in Flutter.